and social contact. Every notification feels like a hit of connection, but it's leaving you emptier. This isn't just loneliness, it's a brain change that traps you in a cycle of disconnection. Your brain is getting rewired by the very tools meant to connect you. Today, we're breaking down the 3 brain traps keeping you isolated and showing you exactly how to rewire your mind for a real, anti-fragile connection. The first way your brain gets tricked is by losing its social reality check. We call this the disconnection trap. When your brain stops believing in people, your brain has a built-in system for checking its own perceptions. Think of it like your brain's social reality check. Every genuine conversation, every shared laugh, every moment of eye contact gives your brain data. It asks, is my internal narrative matching the external world? When you have regular, healthy interactions, your brain stays grounded. But when those interactions disappear, something dangerous happens. Your internal narrative becomes your only reality. There's no one to challenge your assumptions, no one to offer a different perspective. You're left alone with your own thoughts, and they start to spiral. What's happening in your brain is pretty intense. Think of it like this. Your brain's alarm system is stuck on high alert, and the rational operator, your prefrontal cortex, is asleep at the wheel. Studies on extreme isolation show a clear pattern. The part of your brain that handles reasoning and self-control can actually shrink. At the same time, your brain's fear and emotion center goes into overdrive. It's like your brain's alarm system is stuck on high alert with no rational operator to shut it off. This isn't just about prisoners. This is the same brain change happening on a smaller scale in modern life. Real-life examples are everywhere. Remote work can create digital ghosts, colleagues who are just names on a screen, devoid of the subtle social cues that build trust. Social media creates performative intimacy, the illusion of closeness without any of the vulnerability or shared experience that genuine connection requires. The result? Your brain, not getting real information, starts making things up. You might feel a low-grade paranoia in ordinary social situations. Why didn't they text back immediately? What did that vague comment really mean? Disconnection starts to feel safer than the risk of real connection because your brain has been trained to see threat in the absence of familiar, albeit artificial social signals. This constant state of alert brings us to the second brain trap. If the first trap is about perception, the second is about emotion. The anxiety amplifier. How isolation turns stress chronic. Here's a crucial rule about your emotions. No feeling lasts longer than 90 seconds in your body unless you feed it. That's the 90-second rule. A spike of anxiety, a flash of anger. It's meant to be a brief signal, then pass. But isolation removes the natural circuit breakers. In a healthy social environment, you have conversations. You vent to a friend. You get a hug. These interactions act as release valves, regulating the stress and stopping it from becoming chronic. Without them, there's nothing to interrupt the cycle. Small anxieties don't get released. They spiral. Stop right there. You know this feeling. That moment when you pick up your phone and 5 minutes later, you're more agitated than you started. That's not a habit. It's a hijacked feedback loop. A worry about a work project, which would normally be soothed by a quick chat with a deskmate, now has nowhere to go. It loops in your mind, amplified by the silence. The real-life pattern that replaces conversation is doom scrolling. You're seeking an external input, but you're choosing one that feeds the anxiety instead of calming it. It creates a perfect feedback loop. You feel isolated, so you go online looking for connection, but the content you consume is often negative and alarming, which makes you feel more agitated and, ironically, more isolated. Your brain begins to see a threat where there is only absence. The quiet of your apartment isn't peaceful, it's ominous. The lack of a notification isn't neutral, it's a rejection. This triggers a major change in how your brain works. It moves from rational thinking toward pure emotional reactions. You're not thinking problems through, you're feeling them. Every challenge feels like an emergency because your brain's threat detection system is running unchecked. Your inner world becomes filled with exaggerated fears, And without other people to ground you, there's no way to calm them down. This is how normal stress gets twisted into constant, overwhelming worry. Your environment has taken away the tools your brain needs to calm itself down. When you can't calm those emotions down, your mind starts to work against you. This brings us to the third and most insidious trap, the rumination cycle, when your mind becomes an echo chamber. When your inner voice has no external check, it stops being an advisor and becomes a tormentor. This isn't just thinking, it's mental autopilot with no off-ramp. Here's what happens. Without new input, thoughts don't just fade away. They loop, they intensify. Each time a worry cycles through your mind without being challenged, it digs a deeper groove. It's like a record skipping on the same painful groove, and the volume keeps getting turned up. Here's a real-life example you'll recognize. Replaying conversations that never happened. We all do this. You're lying in bed, and suddenly you're having an entire argument with your boss that never happened, crafting perfect comebacks to criticisms they never voiced. That's the echo chamber of rumination. Or you mentally draft a text message to a friend, analyzing every possible interpretation of their silence. This isn't reflection, which is purposeful and leads to insight. This is rumination, a compulsive, repetitive cycle that leads nowhere but deeper into anxiety. Your brain, desperate for that social reality check it's missing, starts creating its own distorted version of reality. It mistakes this internal noise for a real social connection. The connection between disconnection and obsessive thought patterns is direct. When you're isolated, your brain has nothing to do but listen to itself. And without the gentle corrections of social feedback, small worries can blow up into major problems. Why does your brain confuse solitude with punishment? Because from an evolutionary standpoint, being alone meant being vulnerable. Separation from the tribe was a death sentence. So your brain is wired to interpret prolonged isolation as a threat, triggering the same stress responses that would have helped you survive actual danger. The problem is, in the modern world, the threat isn't a predator. It's your own unchallenged thoughts. Rewiring for anti-fragile connection. So how do you break free? The goal isn't to eliminate alone time. It's to transform it from a trap into a training ground. The critical difference is between intentional solitude and forced isolation. Intentional solitude is chosen. It's restorative. It's the quiet time you use for reading, creating, or simply letting your mind wander without an agenda. Forced isolation is what happens when disconnection is imposed on you by circumstance or by your own avoidance. The first strengthens you. The second weakens you. If you want proof this works, look at the ultimate example of isolation, the Norwegian prison model. Unlike systems based on pure punishment, Norway focuses on rehabilitation through the community. Inmates live in environments that resemble normal life, with kitchens, living rooms, and responsibilities. The result? One of the lowest recidivism rates in the world. The lesson is profound. We heal and grow in connection, not in isolation. The strategy is to build what I call a connection portfolio. You need to stop thinking of connection as a lottery ticket and start treating it like a financial portfolio. You diversify to mitigate risk. Don't put all your emotional energy into one relationship or one platform. You need a mix of strong ties, deep, vulnerable connections with a few people, and weak ties, the casual, low-stakes interactions with your barista, a coworker, or a neighbor. These micro-connections are incredibly powerful. They give your brain's social reality check small, manageable doses of real interaction. A 30-second chat about the weather might seem trivial, but it tells your brain, the world is safe. People are friendly. It's a data point that counters the internal narrative of threat. Apply this to your own life. Use your alone time, not to withdraw, but to strengthen the social muscles you'll use when you reconnect. Journal to process your thoughts instead of letting them loop. Listen to a podcast to simulate a conversation. The alone time becomes preparation for richer connection, not an escape from it. Conclusion. Remember this: disconnection is a brain state. not just an emotional one. Your brain's wiring actually changes when you don't get genuine contact. But the beautiful, empowering truth is that your brain's wiring follows your behavior. You are not stuck with these patterns. The rewiring begins with a single, deliberate action. This week, ignore the empty signal of one notification and replace that moment with a 5-minute call to a friend. That's it. Your brain built these traps through repetition, and it will dismantle them the same way. Start the rewiring today.